Hey, welcome. Thanks for being here tonight. We are going to get started in about 20 seconds. I'm just going to give this a chance to load up. When you pop in, please let me know where you're from and if you have any questions for tonight. So tonight is review night. So if anything that you want to see that I have on hand, I have a few different toppers in different colors, is 15% off. So I'm here. My name's Ashley, by the way. I'm in Canada, and you'll notice as well that we have the Uniwigs team standing by, and they're there to answer any questions that maybe I can't answer, or to just sort of go through and help you as questions arise. So hi from Ohio. Thank you for being here. We're going to talk all things related to toppers tonight. So if you have questions at all at any point, please drop them in the chat. If I miss your question, sometimes it becomes a bit of a game for me to kind of sift through them. Just ask the question a second time. I do want to make sure that everybody gets exactly what they need tonight, so that you feel like the questions you came here to have answered are answered, and you're ready to make whatever topper purchases either now or in the future that really best suit your needs. So that's what we're kind of doing here tonight. All right, so I'll start by talking about what I'm wearing first. This is Airy Elegance. It is a human hair topper. All of the pieces that I'm showing tonight, in fact, are going to be human hair. So all of them are from the Uniwigs human hair lineup. This is Airy Elegance. It has, I think I'm lying to you right now, actually. I don't know what I put on. Let me check. I said it was Airy Elegance, and then I thought, I don't even know. I popped it on so quickly. No, this is not actually. Good thing I said something. So this is the new Upgrade Courtney with the lace front. So it's the traditional Upgrade Courtney that we know and love, that has the wide area for parting, but it also has a lace front. So if you don't want to have to do any blending, if you have a weak hairline like I have, going for either the closed lace, which can sit right at the front of the hairline, or going for something with regular lace like this, is such a great gift to have, because you just pop it on and go. Carlotta, hi. It is so great to see you. Thank you for being here. It is always so lovely to see familiar faces. Carlotta, I know you've been with us before, so please let me know if you have a favorite topper that you would like to share for others to see, because I always just think that the best things come out of the comments section when we help each other out and we share our own experiences. So is the Upgrade Courtney available in closed lace? Not currently. So it's either going to have to be the regular monofilament. I don't know if you're familiar with it already, Slow Caviar, but I'll show you what the regular one looks like. And then I just showed you the one that I'm wearing there. So let's grab a Courtney. So this is the regular Upgrade, which has the monofilament, and then it kind of has that PU strip at the front. It really isn't very detectable when you get up close, but it's even better if you can blend bio hair in there, or add some fibers or some root powder, something like that. And Uniwigs does have a whole beginner kit, and they also have the oh my goodness, I'm losing my words, the fibers. So you can use those, but if you want to go with the lace, it sits really nicely at the front. Now, I have a small head, so a lot of times when I try to do a lace topper, it lifts on me and it requires adhesive. But this one here, so there is a bit of lift, if you can see there, but I don't have a halo wire on. And as soon as I put on a halo wire with even the smallest of toppers, like the tiny Upgrade Claire or something like that, I find that it just gets flush to the head really, really quickly, and then you really don't need the adhesive. So there we go. It does look really natural. I love this one. Actually, the reason that I started with this one tonight, forgive me for a second, I'm just going to try to have my water handy because I get so parched when I'm talking. The reason that I wanted to put this one on was because I did a video of it in a ponytail a couple of weeks ago, and the response was amazing. I was really nervous. I wondered if it looked natural or not, because it's been so long since I've worn my hair in a high pony with a topper. I usually do it with a wide headband, which I brought with me tonight to show you. So I threw this one up, and I was a little nervous, and women were so supportive, and then they were asking me questions to show them how I did it. And really, I just put it up like this and put it into a ponytail. And I just thought it was the most natural look. And I think it's because of this low density that comes with the new lace upgrade, Courtney. So you could do it in like a messy bun as well. I really, really feel like this one is natural, and the density is a big part of the reason. For those of us who have thin hair, if we're looking just to kind of, help to minimize sort of what we see with the eye in terms of like scalp coverage, but we don't want to have a heavy density, this really is a great option. It makes an ear tuck super easy because you don't have a lot of bulk pushing the ear forward. That's something I experience a lot when I wear wigs. If I wear a high density wig, you go to do the ear tuck and your ear is being pushed out. But with this one, it really, really is a natural density. Oh, thank you so much, Maddie. That's really sweet of you. I have 2 of the Courtney toppers, one in truffle and one in mousse. Love them both, and I wear them in ponytails frequently. I love that. And I love that you have both of those colors because those are my 2 colors as well. So if anyone's curious to know what the difference might be, this one is mousse brown. It's like a medium brown root. I would say neutral. All human hair is going to have a warm undertone. That's something that I actually saw come up in a question earlier this week on one of the Facebook groups. Somebody was asking about, they wanted the ashiest color of brown that they could get from Uniwigs. And I didn't have time to respond, but what I've learned recently is that all human hair either has like orange or red undertones. And so you're always going to get a little bit of that seeping through, especially as color fades. But I would say this one is about as neutral as you can kind of get. And then you've got these warmer highlights, which is fantastic. Highlights are great if you're looking to blend your bio hair. My own hair underneath is dyed. It has gray in it. I mean, there's all kinds of things going on, but it's really hard to see the transition area because of the highlights. If you don't have a perfect match and you're dealing with a solid color like this truffle brown, then it's going to be more obvious that there's a difference between your own hair color and then the topper. So you need a closer match if you're going to go for a solid color. But if you are looking for a solid brown, that's also neutral, the truffle brown is absolutely gorgeous. This is a beautiful shade, and it's available in a lot of the Uniwigs toppers. So the name of the one that I'm wearing right now is Upgrade Courtney in the newer lace front version. Thanks, Maddie. You are so sweet. I really appreciate that. You're, oh my goodness, what a kind soul. Como la traductor en español. I don't know how to translate this in español into Spanish. Uniwigs team, maybe if you could let them know if there's a way to translate this. If you have questions in Spanish, I'm very limited in my Spanish, but I might be able to make out what you're asking. So feel free to drop it in the comments and I'll see. Maybe collectively, we as a group can figure out what questions you have and can help you with that. Am I just doing toppers, Jerry? I do have one wig here, the Natalie wig from Uniwigs, but yes, I generally work on the topper side of things. Of course, if you do have questions about the Uniwigs wig lineup, feel free to ask and somebody can answer in the chat. And they also do have lives quite frequently for their wig line. So that's a good thing to pop in on if you ever have questions, because the people who will be running those will have a lot of options to share with you, whereas I have a whole bunch of options, but all of them are toppers. So yes, feel free to ask those questions though. And thank you for being here. Hello from Minneapolis. Is this available in Dusty Ash Blonde? So I'm going to ask the Uniwigs team to let me know. I suspect it is because Dusty Ash is so popular. If anyone wants to see Dusty Ash, I'm going to grab that for you right now. So we have one here. I wanted to show you the Dusty Ash in another piece though. Here we go. So I have both, I keep them together so I don't confuse them. I have both the Dusty Ash Brown, the regular, and then the soft Dusty Ash Brown. And we can do a side-by-side comparison if you're interested. So Stephanie, I'll just see if somebody in the chat can let us know whether this is available in that color, but I suspect it is. So here are the two. So I'll actually see if you can guess. I'll give you a minute. Which one do you think is the original Dusty Ash, knowing that it's a sort of brighter color with more bold highlights, and which one is the soft Dusty Ash? So I've got a bright light shining on me, but I'm pretty sure that I can make out the difference right now. So you have the brighter, bolder one and then the softer one here. You're so nice, Maddie. Thank you so much. Okay, do we have any other toppers that we want to see, or would you like me to just kind of jump into it? So I'll show you this one more time. This is the new Upgrade Courtney, the one that's there on the screen, and it has the lace front, which is so beautiful. You don't need to blend, you don't need to do anything. You can just lay it flat and go. It's perfect for an updo. This one I feel like is great for summertime because it's lightweight. One of the big questions that I get asked on repeat is, are toppers hot? And the answer is probably hotter than not having anything on. But for me, it's never been a huge factor. I will always pick having good hair over being very, very cool. And I also feel like the right topper doesn't add a ton of heat, but it does protect your scalp from the sun. And that actually feels really nice because we know if we have thin hair, we're prone to burning. Now it will fade out the hair color faster if you get it exposed to the sun. So you do have to be a little bit careful. But I think toppers can be a great option. If you're out on a sunny day and you're sitting on a patio underneath an umbrella, a topper like this is lightweight. You can grab a claw clip, you can pin it up off your neck, and I think you'll get the coverage you're looking for without being uncomfortable. So that is this one. We love this one. Yes, this is the Courtney with the lace front. So maybe what I'll do now is I'll put on a Courtney, and this is Moose Brown. I can put one on that's in the monofilament top, so you can see how much denser it is and what it looks like without the transition. I'm interested in the amber and the vanilla butter blonde, but I'm not sure about the closed lace front. I have Airy Elegance in open lace now. Okay, Carol, that's a great question. I'll show you what the closed lace looks like. So I don't know, Carol, what your situation is at the front hairline, like if you are okay with blending or not blending. I personally love the closed lace because I feel like you can get away with it whether you need to blend or not. I don't have a lot of blending ability just because of my minimal hairline, and I don't enjoy blending. I want to put something on and go, and I feel like the closed lace you can wear right to the front. Does Airy come in Dusty Ash Brown? I'm sorry, I don't have an answer to that, but I suspect that it does. So if you take a look at their website, all the color offerings will be there, but Dusty Ash Brown is pretty popular. So I suspect that it is on there. Also, Uniwigs, if you reach out to their customer support, they customize as well. So if there's something that you're looking for and it's not on the site, you can just request it and they can make that happen for you. Okay, so we'll put on the soft Dusty Ash Brown, so the newer one. And this, actually, I don't really want to do this one because I haven't broken up the part line yet, but that's okay. That's actually good for you to see. So this is what it's going to look like when it comes out of the box. You end up with this very straight part line. You can see how it's pretty, but it looks a little bit less natural. Now watch what happens when I put one on where the part line has kind of been messed up a little bit, and I've added a tiny bit of root powder. It makes such a huge difference. This one also has a halo wire, but I'm not going to apply it right now. I can show you that later though if anybody wants to see what it looks like. So this is the regular Upgrade Courtney. This one is Chinese Remy human hair on my head, and it's the original Dusty Ash Brown, which is a great blonde. It's amazing if you want to go lighter and you are a brunette because you've got those brunette roots. And if you are a blonde who wants to go darker, you can pull that off because you have the blonde. So it all just kind of works for everybody. So that's why I love this color so much. And the dimension that I talked about earlier is here, and that is so key if you are trying to disguise that your bio hair isn't a perfect match for the topper. I mean, obviously customization is great. And if you have someone who can help you to dye your bio hair to match your topper, that's fantastic. But I know we don't all have that ability. And so this is a really great way to kind of cheat it, is to get the pieces with dimension. So I'm just going to give it a little straighten at the front here. It's been hanging on my wig stand, so it's a little wonky at the front there from where the clips have been hanging. But you can see how good that hairline looks once it's been broken up. So this is the original Courtney, considerably denser. I think it's a 10% difference in density, but overall it looks denser than it did in the mousse brown that I was just showing you. So I'll switch over in a second to the closed lace in case we want to see that one. Hi there, hello. Thank you for the highs when you're popping in. It's so nice to see you. We're talking everything related to toppers tonight. So if you have any questions, if anything arises, please drop it in the comments. If I miss your comment, please feel free to ask again. I have a variety of different toppers and different colors. So anything that you want to know, I will do my best to help answer. And everything is 15% off right now, I believe, in the topper side of things at Uniwigs. So it's a great time if you're looking for new spring hair. I'm not sure if it's spring where you are. We're still in a deep freeze in Canada, but that time is coming and it's nice to start thinking about spring hair. Stopped wearing my toppers due to PCOS, but I'm worried about the clips damaging my hair over time. Should I switch to a halo wire? Glazed potato, that is a great question. So I also get a lot of questions about whether or not toppers cause further hair loss because of traction alopecia from the clips. And the answer for me is that they didn't. So I wore hair toppers full time for 4 years, full time. I'm a high school teacher, so once I have a new style, I kind of stick with it for the whole semester at least. And yeah, I didn't experience anything. I've actually experienced, if I'm being honest, more loss since wearing like wearing my wig grips really, really tight and wearing a wig in the last 2 years than I ever did with the clips. And I think the reason is because the clips, first of all, when I apply, I'm really going loose. I used to, when I first started wearing toppers, pull all the way down and scoop up as much hair as I could because I was so worried that the topper was going to fly off. And then with comfort and time, you start to realize that thing is pretty secure. And so I didn't do that as much. I wasn't as aggressive with my use of the clips, but also Uniwigs uses the pressure sensitive clips. These are really open, close, easy. You'll notice if you spend some time in the alternative hair space that there are definitely more aggressive clips. What I should do is cut some out of toppers that have them that are not Uniwigs brand and show you what they look like. They're kind of angry looking clips and they have all kinds of weird hooks in them. Those I would not go near my hair with, but these are totally great. They're totally safe. I can't promise you that you won't experience traction alopecia, but I personally haven't, and I don't have a lot of hair. The halo wire is a great thing to use though if you want to take the pressure off of the clips. I still would use personally clips along with the halo wire, but as soon as you put that halo wire around your head, you feel that the weight almost shifts, right? Like where you're feeling that sort of that pressure come down. And it's lovely. The other thing that you can do, Uniwigs, with every topper purchase, they often give you a little kit like this in the box, and it comes with a comb, so you can add a front comb if you'd like to add a front comb, and it also comes with extra clips as well as your halo wire. So the extra clips can be sewn into different spots, so you can kind of trade off, one day I'm going to use these ones and the next day I'm going to use these ones so that you're not clipping into the same spot all the time. So that's a nice thing to do as well. And they easily could be sewn on. I should make a video about that. I recently just did a video where I sewed in a halo wire into an older topper that didn't have one. It's actually this one, I think. But you can do that with the clips as well. So hopefully, I don't know, glazed potato, does that answer the question? So no promises, but I do feel like the halo wire will be helpful. And do you have any that are super thin at the hairline? So everything that has the lace front. So the Claire with lace, the Airy Elegance with lace, the Breeze with lace, the new Courtney with lace, all of those you're going to find you have less density at the front hairline. So this is the Claire one. And you can just see that it's quite thin. There's not a ton of hair there at the front. And the reason why is because it's all hand sewn in this little section. And so they keep it looking really realistic, really breathable. If I show you like that, you can see through to the wall. So anything that has lace front is going to be really nice and realistic at that front hairline. Stephanie, you have that one, or you have one. I'm not sure what it is. Shoot. Okay, I'm just going to go back up. I think I'm shaking the camera, but I'm going to go back up because I am missing some of the questions. I'm okay with blending. That's good. So if you're okay with blending, you have even more options available. Oh, Carol, I think you were looking to see the closed lace, weren't you? Let me put that on. If you're okay with blending, every topper looks amazing, which is so great. Good morning from Singapore. Hello. Thanks for being here. Do you have any that are super thin at the hairline? Okay, we got that. Any toppers with bangs? Okay, so when it comes to bangs, you can actually, any of these will work. So someone just asked about having something with less density at the front. Those will only give you really thin bangs, right? So if I were to take that same piece that I just had, Carol, I'm sorry, I promise I'm going to put on that closed lace in a minute. So if I show you this, right, there's only so much that I could pull to the front to give a bang while not, I don't want to take from the bulk, but that's going to go over my crown and the back of my head. So going with something that's lace, you could get bangs in, but probably not your best option. The thicker front ones are the ones you're going to want to use. So a regular Courtney like this one with the monofilament top would be great for a medium size bang, I would say. So I could probably pull about this much hair and create a pretty nice, pretty thick bang and still have lots of density left throughout. So this would be a good one. The other one that would be really great and would be, depending on how much density you want, my number one option to go with bangs is my favorite Savannah. Every time I do a live, she makes an appearance because she was my first Uniwigs piece, my second Uniwigs piece. But my first one that I wore full-time every day for several months to school. So I told you, once I find a piece for school, I have to kind of stick with it because I don't want students to be asking questions about, why did your hair change or anything like that. And so this one, once I got her, I wore her, and you can see she's well loved on the inside. The color, this is the mousse brown. You saw me in mousse brown earlier. This color has faded because she's been washed and heat styled so many times. She's quite old now, but she's a 9x9 cap, which is so comfortable. It has stretch in the cap, so it just clips so nicely on your head. And over time, this is the beautiful thing about toppers. The longer you wear them, the more they conform to your head. And so then it just feels like you after a while because you put it on and it's just perfectly molded and it's just wonderful. Okay, so this is Savannah. She's looking, I keep saying I'm going to restyle her. And then I don't do it. But you can see here, so she has a great cut. She has lots of layers in the front, lots of face framing pieces, but these face framing pieces would make fantastic bangs. Fantastic bangs. So you can imagine you get a really thick bang. And the reason you get a thick bang on this type of topper is because it's a silk top. So a silk top, the way that the hairs are sewn, if you look at this front hairline, you always kind of have hairs that are kind of going out like this and they fall forward. So they naturally work for bangs just because of the way that the silk top is sewn. So it wouldn't take much. This is a perfect one if you want a curtain bang and you want that swooping curtain bang that's so popular. You can do that easily with this one and it'll stay, but it will also work so well for a bang in the front. And if you can blend, this is a great one for that too. If you don't have the ability to blend very much like me, then you can always wear it in a side part and that really helps to disguise the front hairline. So that's how I wore Savannah when I wore her. So I would just kind of do something like this on the side and then I would pull a little bit of my bio hair out, but it takes the attention from the center of your head and people don't tend to notice that it's not blended as much. So I'm just I'm not clipping her in or anything right now, just because I want you to see quickly what you can do with her. So this one would be my number one option, I think, for bangs, because you have the realistic looking scalp with the silk. It's not see-through. So you don't have to worry about anybody seeing the knots. You don't have to worry about anybody seeing the grid pattern. It's super stretchy. It's super flexible. It's super comfortable. The clips will clip down on what for most of us is sort of the safer space on your head. I don't know about you, but for me, like as someone with hair loss, this area here tends to be really sensitive. This is where the hairs are really thin, really fine, and it can be uncomfortable. So having something clipping in further down where it's like a little more robust, I think is kind of nice. So that's Savannah, and this is in mousse brown. I should get a new Savannah. wear her, or get this one colored. I could do that as well. So there you go. That's what she looks like at the scalp. So you don't have to do anything but throw her on and go. Okay, I said that I was going to put this one on quite some time ago. I haven't done it yet. This is not closed lace. This is closed lace. Okay, this one, this is so good. So good. So this is truffle brown, closed lace breeze. Unless there are any other things, I should probably just check before I throw her on. I'm so sorry. With bangs, they tend to, I'm so sorry. By the way, if you ask a question in the messages and I miss it, please feel free to ask it again. I don't mind at all. What I don't want is for you to ask a question and then not have it answered. So please ask again. How do you get the part to look like that? Does it come already like that? No. So actually, I'm just going to throw this on in the meanwhile so that we have it on, and then I'll talk about the part line. So I'm going to use the halo wire on this one. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to just kind of put it like this at the back of my head. I have a very flat occipital bone, so I'm not the perfect candidate for a halo wire, but if it works for me with a flat occipital bone, it'll definitely work for you. So the halo wire right now, there are no clips, and it definitely helps to keep things in place, which is great. I love the halo wire. Okay, so if you're just tuning in, this is Breeze in closed lace, truffle brown. So good. When I put this on for the first time, I guess it was about 2 months ago, I thought, oh my gosh, if this had existed when I first started wearing toppers, I don't even know what I would have done. I mean, I loved my experience with Savannah. I loved my experience with Courtney, but these closed lace pieces are just amazing. They're lightweight at the front. They could blend, but they don't need to blend. Okay, back to the question about how to get the part line to look like that. So I won't do it on camera because it requires the use of a hairdryer and that would get really loud. But when you first take your topper out of the packaging, it's going to look like this. So it's just going to have a really straight part line. And it looks really great, especially for those of us who have a widening part line. It's really nice to see something like this. But when you put it on your head, it's going to look a little bit more unnatural. So if we take a look at a comparable piece, this is, so these are both upgrade Courtney's. This one's brand new with that very straight part line. And then this one has had the part line messed up. So this topper's been washed. And in washing, I just kind of like part it with a bit of a zigzag, not too much, but just a little bit, the way you would with your own biological hair. And that's all I had to do. Now you don't even have to wash it. So if you take it out of the box and you're like, I'm not ready to wash it, you know, it looks beautiful. Why would I wash it and then go and restyle it? Then all you have to do is wet the part line itself. So just take a spray bottle, spritz it, comb it back, and then just move the part line around exactly where you want it. You can move it to the side, you can keep it in the middle, and then use a hairdryer just to blow the hair in place. Just what you do, as you would do if you were trying to change the part on your own biological hair. So it's actually that easy. I also apply, you can see there's remnants of powder, maybe not a ton, but a little bit. So I apply a little bit of powder right on the part line with a dense brush. So I use the type of makeup brush that you would use for maybe under your eyes or something like that, really dense, small. And then I typically just put it in whatever my face powder is. So I happen to use the Rimmel powder. Some people really like the L'Oreal True Match because it's a bit thicker. I like mine because it's not as thick. And I use a really pale one and I just dab it on the part line and that's how I get that look. So it's pretty easy to do. And it does have a huge impact, and probably one of the things that I resisted doing most when I first started wearing toppers. Like I always just wore them exactly like they came out of the box. And I realized that just these few little tweaks can make such a big difference in terms of realism. I have the Breeze front lace and I love it. So Melanie, you have the one that's with the, I think this is a Breeze. Yeah, this is a Breeze with the Swiss Lace Luxe collection. Is that what you have? These are great too. They're so lightweight, so breathable. the smaller one, the Airy Elegance, for me, I needed to use before halo wires. I would have needed to use adhesive to keep it down because of my small head. But the larger ones, because they clip further down on the sides, it really helps to keep that topper secure and you don't get any sort of like cone head effect. But the topper with the halo wire now is a game changer. You can wear almost anything and it'll look good without even having to use adhesive. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm so glad that I was able to answer your question. And that's for everybody. If anyone has a question, please drop it in the comments below. I really do. I mean, we're here to help. That's the entire reason for this live tonight, is to get your questions answered. So, all right, let's see what I've missed. Breaking up the hairline, I have the 14-inch Airy Elegance, but it looks like a 12-inch. I'm not sure why it's short. Did you measure it to see the length? Because I generally find, for me anyways, all of the toppers that I've ordered, they end up, the way that Uniwigs measures, they tend to be longer than North American vendors. So I would definitely check your order and then measure, and if not, reach out to customer service. Thank you, Jerry, for the kind words. Can the front part, can you try on the one that's super thin in the front? Yes, I definitely will. I had on, maybe I'll put on the Claire in a moment. What's the difference between, oh shoot, I just lost my spot. I think it was between closed lace and open lace. Sorry, just one moment. I just don't want to miss any of those questions. Not sure if it's answered. Does the lace front Courtney need to be glued down in the front? No problem. If you just hang tight, I will actually put on the Courtney again for you to see what it looks like. I mean, it will vary from person to person, but I don't feel like it needs to be. If you have the halo wire attached, you should be okay. They tend to look fake for me in the front, so I want to know your lightest, thinnest top and all around low density. So the lightest, thinnest, all around, like, I mean, really, you could get something like Velora, which is really tiny. It's like 3x4. So that's going to be the light, one of the lightest ones available with the lowest density, but that might not give you sufficient coverage. This is going to be really good if you just want to do an updo or something and you need a little bit of extra oomph. But if you're looking for something that has good coverage but light density, then you probably want to go with something like Airy Elegance, the new Upgrade Courtney with the lace front, or something like Claire. I can't remember her measurements, but I want to say that she's 5.5 by 5.5 or 5.5 by 6 or something like that. So she's super lightweight, but still gives reasonably good coverage. So something like that. I'm desperate for, oh, I just lost that. Thanks, Melanie, by the way, for sharing about your breeze. It's so nice to hear what is working for other women. I think that really helps those who are watching. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm losing my spot. The same problem, desperate for my long hair, forehead too big. There's no thickness left. I'm from Belgium. Well, I'm sorry, Anne, that you're going through this. It definitely, at the beginning of all of this can be really, really challenging, but I do feel lucky that we have things like toppers and wigs to help us through it. So there's definitely a topper out there. It's just about finding the right one from this lineup that could work for you. So if you have any questions, please let me know. The thing about if you feel like your forehead is larger, you can always wear your toppers lower. So that's kind of the nice thing about a topper, is that you don't have to wear the topper high off your head or off your, what's the word I'm looking for, from the back of your hairline. You can get something that has lace and then wear it further down. So you can actually create a shorter forehead if that's something that you want. Okay, we're gonna get into the difference between closed lace and open lace, and between Burmese and Chinese. I live in a humid area. Okay, Giselle, I'm going to come back to this. If I don't come back, can you please remind me to come back to this? Because I actually have a Burmese piece that's kind of wavy texture that I want to show you. So I'll come back to that in just a moment. Do you have a curly topper at least 10 to 12 inch? Most of the toppers here are at least 10 to 12 inches. So most of them, I think the minimum length is 14 inches, if I'm not mistaken. There are some that are 12, like Velora. So this one's 12 inches, but most of them are longer. So you can always take them to be cut to match your bio hair. I can't find any shop that sells supplements. You're talking a little fast. Oh, I'm sorry. I will try to slow down. I am guilty of speaking quickly all the time. And feel free to ask me to repeat anything. So, yeah, hair supplements, to be honest, I would be cautious for everyone when it comes to going places in salon. Uniwigs pieces are sold in some salons, and that would be a great option if there happens to be a place near you where you can go and you can actually try on the Uniwigs pieces. But what's nice about salons that sell them is that you know they're coming from Uniwigs, and that means consistency in the product line. It means you're going to have hair colors that are predictable, caps that are predictable. Sometimes I get a lot of messages from women over on Instagram who they go into a local salon and they're sold a wig or topper and it's unbranded and they don't know what they're getting. And then they get home and they end up with all kinds of problems with it because it's not Remy human hair. There's no policy to protect it. And they're charged thousands of dollars for these pieces. So and when I get so many stories like that, that always worries me. The nice thing about Uniwigs is that they have a clear return policy. There are lots of real pictures and images like this where you can see the product and see what it looks like. So though it is stressful to buy online in some ways, in other ways, I've only ever purchased alternative hair, and I've been wearing it for 6 years online. I've never purchased in store because there just isn't anything around me really. And so once you kind of know what to look for and you're doing your research and you're reaching out to the Uniwigs team or reaching out to me or anyone who's familiar with the products, it really can help to sort of alleviate some of that stress, but at least you know that it's coming from a place that's reputable and real, and has a team that's really going to try to take care of you. So I would definitely say, I can appreciate that it's nerve-wracking to order online, but it's definitely okay, and it can work out, and it's definitely worked out for me. Okay, closed lace versus, I have two products that are too similar to me. So this is the open lace, and I'm wearing the closed lace. That's why I can't find it. Okay, so closed lace, I'll show you what it looks like on me here at the front. So there's nothing, like there's the edge, and it's a reinforced edge. I don't want to pull it up too much because then it's going to start to lift on me. But it's a reinforced edge. It's still all of the hand-tied portion at the top, which makes it breathable and light and realistic looking. So this is the closed lace breeze in truffle brown. So you can see here you've got this reinforced edge, but it's all lace. And that means everywhere in this section, you can part the hair. It's going to look realistic. It's going to feel very light on your head. You're also going to end up with something called return hairs, which I love. Now, Uniwigs does pretty long return hairs, but you have these little short hairs. And what those are is from where the hair goes in to the lace and comes back out a little bit. And I just find that it really helps to give a little bit of fluff, a little bit of volume. It just helps with the realism because they look like baby hairs, as opposed to a silk piece that doesn't have those. It ends up being a lot like sleeker and straighter. So this is kind of a nice thing to have. So this is the closed lace. It's perfect if you can blend because it's nice and flat. So you're not going to have a ton of bulk, and you don't need a lot of hair to blend and make it work if you want to blend. So I'll just pretend for a second that I was going to blend. Let's do it over here where my hair isn't as gray. So you can see if I just put it a tiny bit behind my hairline and then clip in, I don't have a lot of bio hair, but it works. Like you can't really see the area of transition there, right? So it's awesome for blending. But if you don't have bio hair to blend, or you just don't feel like blending, then you can do what I was doing earlier and wear it right to the front hairline like that. And again, I don't think anyone's going to notice. If they look really closely, they might wonder where that transition line is, but they're not going to be that close. I hope they're not going to be that close to me. I actually had a student today who was standing right beside me. I didn't realize she was so close. I was looking at her work, and then I realized, oh my gosh, she's right beside me, like right here. I'm sure, if she was that close, she might have noticed the grid pattern or something, but generally speaking, people aren't going to be that close to you. Okay, and then this one is the this the same wig topper? Yes, it is. No, it's not. I want to make sure we're comparing apples to apples here. Here we go. Now we are. So this is a Breeze, and this is a Breeze Swiss Lace Luxe. This is the original Dusty Ash Brown. And I didn't do a great job cutting that lace because I was pretty new to cutting lace at the time, but you have that lace front. And so the difference is it doesn't have that reinforced strip, right? So the reason why is because they know that those who buy the lace front version are probably going to want to use adhesives to glue the piece down. And so having that reinforced strip would be obvious. So what you end up having is like a little bit more of a transition. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but the closed lace was like straight across, right? But with the lace front, you have these little hand-tied bits that are not a perfectly straight semicircle, and it gives it a more realistic looking hairline. So if you were to glue it down, it would look like it's just kind of growing out of your head. So that's the regular Swiss lace versus the closed. I hope that answers the question. I don't hide my roots with an elastic headband. Or you hide your, I need a hair booster. Toppers are definitely good hair boosters. They are definitely really good. Okay, let's see what we have here for questions. Just all the difference between, oh, thank you, Carol. Oh, I love this community so much. You all help each other. It's the best. It is the best. Okay, closed lace. I'm going to show you the Burmese now. Can you show what the closed lace Airy would look like without any bio hair blending? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I had dense hair. I find myself thickness is minimal. It's finished that leaves. It's due to the food. You're so sweet. It's so frustrating when this happens. So I think we all here are feeling for you because we've all kind of gone through this, and it's not easy. But once you find what works, it's just so much more reassuring. Okay, I'm looking for my Airy Elegance closed lace. Sorry if you're wondering what I'm doing here. I am going to find it, I'm sure, in a moment. Okay. Sorry, I just realized I'm turning my back. I don't want to turn my back to the camera. I'm trying to be stealthy. Okay, we've got a bunch of stuff here. Hang on. Yes, that has to be Airy Elegance. Yes, it does. Okay, I've got Airy Elegance. It took me a minute. So closed lace, Airy Elegance, Moose Brown. So that's the color there. It's so gorgeous. Now you're going to notice I have the front pieces curled, but not the back, because I was doing it as a demonstration on how to curl. So this one is a little bit of a lighter density than Breeze, and you also have a smaller cap. So it's going to give you less coverage, and the clips are going to sit a little bit higher up, but that might be good depending on your individual needs. Okay, could you see me install that halo wire there? I don't know if I was sort of bent over in the right spot, but I do want to make sure that you can see me applying it, because it can be a little daunting until you do it for yourself the first time. Okay, so this is the Airy Elegance, and I don't even have the clips on. And I feel like, I mean, it shifted a bit there, but it didn't really move in the middle, which is kind of amazing how well the halo wire works. I'm gonna move it a bit further back. Yeah, about there. So there's the Airy Elegance right to the front of the front hairline. And then I'm also gonna show you the Burmese, because I keep forgetting to do that. So was it Giselle who was looking for the Burmese texture? Giselle, were you here when I had on Savannah? Because she's Burmese. So I want to show you that one again in a minute. And then also this one. Okay. Hi, you can pick the color below. Sorry, I'm just going to go back. I know I'm missing messages. Difference between Burmese. You did such a good job of explaining it. Where did it go? I would definitely defer to the host for her input. Carol, you are so sweet. Oh my goodness. Good morning. Hello. I can't hide my roots unless you have. Oh, we talked about that. Oh, where did it go? I saw something in French. Je chez moi beaucoup. Non, que des cheveux. Je préfère longs. C'est typiquement USA. Cette couleur que j'ai. Je comprends pas, je m'excuse. Si tu préfères longue, il y a beaucoup de lengths. So, il y a 18 pouces, 16. So, ici, celui-ci, c'est 16 pouces. Pouces? Is that the right word for inches? So, and there's always the option to do a custom piece with Uniwigs if you need something longer. Belgium, everyone cuts their hair. No, translate is great. Je comprends français. So, français, c'est bon. Je parle pas très bien en français, mais je comprends. Okay, let's take a look at the Burmese. So what's kind of fun about the Burmese, you said you live in a humid climate, Giselle, right? So I don't know if you have curly hair or if you have straight hair. If you have straight hair, you're going to want to go for the Chinese Remy human hair. It's still going to have a bit of texture. It's still going to be a little bit curly, or not curly, wavy, but straightening it will be a lot easier. So I will show you again the piece that I had on earlier. This one here. Sorry. Yes. This one here, the one that I gave as the example with that part line that I had messed up, this is an upgrade Courtney. This is Chinese Remy human hair straightened. And you can see that it straightens like really silky smooth. So if I wanted to leave it wavy, if I air dry it, you will see a wave and you can wear it that way, which is great and beautiful, but you're not going to get the same like poof of frizz in the humid weather as you would with the Burmese. So this is it straightened, but I'm in a dry climate right now. It's Canada and we have fireplaces in our house. So this is going to be super dry. Savannah, which I showed you earlier. Where'd she go? This one. So this one is Savannah. She's got a curl added to her, but she's the Burmese texture. And you can kind of see here now, this is like after a lot of wash, a lot of wear and tear, but she really starts to kind of like frizz up a little bit, right? Like that's something that's going to happen. Personally, I think it depends on the look that you're going for. If it's possible in a perfect world, we would have one of each so that if there's a day that you kind of want to look like beachy and just have that natural look, then the Burmese is awesome. In fact, one of the reasons that my daughter loved, and my daughter was like my toughest critic. So she was about 7 years old when I first started wearing alternative hair, and she loved Savannah on me. And the reason why she loved Savannah was because she thought it looked really natural, probably because of the Burmese texture. She said it looked less perfect than some of the other hair that I wore. And I think that's because of that kind of, coarser, curlier texture. Even when you straighten it, it still has that, that sort of like, you can tell that it's a curlier hair underneath. And so she said, Mom, no one's hair looks as perfect as your hair sometimes looks, but that one looks realistic. So it can be good to have the Burmese. Also, if you do ever really want to work up the curls, you can get away with that with the Burmese. And so as someone, I actually have curly biological hair. So for me, having something that I can get to go curly is really kind of a blessing because I have to straighten my hair every day for toppers that I wear toppers. So before coming on here tonight, I had to make sure that I straightened my hair. But when you have something that you can just add some water to and make it curly, it's a bit of a game changer. So any girls out there who have wavy hair, or want to have wavy hair, like you could always scrunch your own bio hair a little bit and then do the wavy topper, and such a great look for the summertime. Now, will it frizz? A little bit, but those who have curly hair know that if you put the right products in, you can kind of hold the curl and minimize the frizz. So you can use curl creams that are going to help to minimize the frizz, or a little bit of mousse, or some BioSilk or something like that as well will help to kind of coat it. So I'm just spraying this water to show you that this is how I would revive the curl if I was looking to actually wear this curly. And this is something I would do with my own hair. You know, get out of the shower, you have curly hair, and you scrunch it, right, to bring back the curl. And then you can even use a diffuser, and that will really boost the curl as well. And what's super cool about the Burmese texture is that a lot of times when we see wigs or toppers online that are curly, they're actually done with a, what's the word I'm looking for? Not a crimper. Everyone did it in the 80s. What do you call that? A perm. And so permed hair is processed. These pieces are already processed, right? Because they have hair color in them. All human hair wigs and toppers, especially when we're going with like lighter brunettes or we're going with blondes, those start off as dark brown or black. And then they undergo processing to get to this color. If we perm them on top of that, they become really dried out. And once the perm kind of fades, you're left with something that's not as attractive in terms of the wave pattern. And I know this because I purchased from another brand back in the day, probably twice as much as a Uniwig's topper costs. And it had a perm, and I was so excited. And within a few months, the perm faded. And I didn't straighten that piece out. So it just, from wear and tear, the perm just kind of fell out of it, and washing and things like that. But because the Burmese texture is naturally curly, you're never going to lose it. It's not going to disappear on you. It's not going to fade out, and it hasn't undergone extra processing. So you just get to keep this beautiful curl, and you can revive it anytime you want by adding a little water, by scrunching it, and then letting it air dry or diffuse. And you can see I just put a tiny bit of water. If I were to saturate this and then really give it that scrunch treatment and the diffuser treatment, oh my goodness, it would become so beautiful. So yeah, there's the benefit of Burmese. Now, if you're looking for straight, go for Chinese. It's a little bit more money, but not a lot. Wigs, I think, keeps the prices pretty reasonable between the two. But in a perfect world, I would have the same topper, one with Burmese and one with the Chinese, so that I could have two different hairstyles and just kind of play around and not have to wash my topper every time, right? You can just kind of trade them out, which is so fun. So love the curly hair method. Oh, me too. Me too. I actually, so the one that I was just wearing, the closed lace truffle brown, that I keep saying I'm going to do it, but I haven't done it because I love how it looks right now. But that's going to be the one where I'm sure this summer, my bio hair is too long right now to wear with most of these toppers, and it's too long to wear with that closed lace. But my plan is to cut my hair to match the closed lace and then really work the curl into it because it's Burmese, and then wear my bio hair with curly hair and just dye my hair to match the truffle brown and be able to just put on a lightweight closed lace topper that's wavy with my wavy bio hair in the summer. I mean, that sounds like a dream, right? You're ready in 5 minutes, but it's all your own hair underneath. Oh, I can't wait. So that's my plan for this summer with the Uniwig's closed lace. Okay, let's see what we have for questions. If you've asked a question and I've missed it, please feel free to ask again. We want to make sure that we answer all of your questions. Okay, where are we? I'm so sorry, I'm just taking a look here. That's my length. Oh, good. So then we know which one you're going to need. Sorry, I'm trying to zip through here, but they move on me sometimes. Is it real hair? Yes, it is real human hair, which means it's going to last a long time. If you take care of the toppers, they will last because of that. I feel like I'm shaking the camera. I apologize. It's just because I'm trying to go back through these comments. Airy Elegance is Burmese. Yes, but I believe if you ask the Uniweeks team, I think you can get anything customized with the Chinese Remy human hair. Oh my goodness, I think I've missed a lot. Can you show the closed lace, Airy, what it would look like without blending any bio hair? Okay, so that's what I'm wearing right now. So I haven't blended in any bio hair, and I'm wearing the closed lace Airy Elegance right now in Moose Brown. I have dense hair. I find myself with a thickness of minimal. It's finished. That leaves due to, okay, we read that. Good. Is Aura less hair or the new Courtney? They're both 110. Oh, I'm going to answer that in a moment because this is the Aura. So I'll put it on and do a side by side for you, okay? I'm sorry that I missed that. Okay, so we're going to do Courtney versus Upgrade Aura. And can the front part be changed from a middle part to a side part? Absolutely. So anywhere that you have that little like lace part or monofilament area is where you can move your part. So you can do middle, sides, everything, which is so great. Is it best to put the topper on your head with the clips closed before opening and closing again? Or is it best to keep the clips open when applying? That's such a good question. I don't know what I do. I have to do it. Isn't that so funny? I've been doing it for so long, I'm not sure what I do. I'm going to try it and see. I think I leave them open. Yes, I open them. You don't have to, but now that I've thought about what I do, yeah, right now they're open and that's exactly how I would do it. Just like that. I mean, you can do whatever works for you. Once you kind of play around with it, you'll find your groove to the point where you have to think about it because you do it so it's like second nature. Okay, I'm gonna go through Upgrade Aura versus Courtney. What else do I need to do? How often should they be washed? Such a good question. Excellent question. I'm looking for topper. Can you show the truffle brown and the mousse brown to see the colors? My hair's naturally wavy if you have wavy. Okay. What else am I missing? Is it best to put the topper on your head? Okay, good. Okay, I'm almost caught up. So the question there was the mousse brown versus the truffle brown, and then the Courtney versus the Upgrade Aura. Portugal, I'd like to buy 16 inches, 110%. Wow, where did that question go? Oh my goodness. I keep losing the questions as I'm looking at them. Darker colors, yes, they do have like natural black, which is so beautiful because it actually is natural black. You'll see variations in there, which is really cool. So they go all the way up to natural black, variety of colors. There's also a caramel brown. Maybe the Uniways team can help me with that. Dark caramel, something like that. So it's a darker base with a little bit of highlights as well. So they do have a few others. Okay, I'm going to truffle brown, mousse brown to see the colors. There's something else that I missed. There it is. Order from Portugal. Yes, I do believe you can order from Portugal. How many weeks to arrive? So it should indicate on the website for each one whether it's in stock or not. If it's in stock, then they ship it out almost right away. And then it'll just depend how long for it to be in transit. But generally, things move fairly quickly. I'm in Canada, and I tend to get my products within, a week or two, depending on whether they're in stock or not. So there's that. How often do you add oil or leave-in treatment, and what brand? Okay, so I'm coming back. I promise I'm going to show you the Upgrade Aura on in a second. In terms of washing, you start to get a feel for it. So it'll start to feel heavier and like you can't quite get your fingers through it the same way. It's almost like the hair starts to clump together. That's how you know that it's due for a wash. So my Savannah that I was showing you earlier, it's definitely due for a wash. Like you can just kind of tell when I run my fingers through it, they kind of get stuck a little bit versus this one, right? So it just needs a bit of a wash. So I go as long as possible between washes, and I almost don't want to admit how long it is. It's really bad. When I was wearing toppers full time, oh gosh, I could go weeks and weeks, sometimes a couple of months before washing, but I have rules for myself to make sure that I can extend the time between washes. So rule number one, I only ever put my toppers or wigs on top of clean hair. So that means, I wash my hair every single morning. without fail. So I get up, I work out, and then I wash my hair and I put my wig on or my top on clean hair. I feel like I've heard a lot of women say, oh, like you don't have to wash your hair as much because you're wearing hair toppers, right? Or other women who wear hair toppers don't. And I think that if the cap is going to start to smell over time, I think, right? So for me, it's like on top of clean hair always. Rule number 2 is I don't touch my hair without clean hands. So, some of us have like a habit, I'm an ear tucker, of like tucking and touching. I really try to minimize how often I touch the hair. And if I touch the hair, it's only with clean hands because, you've got germs on your hands. And the more that you do this, the more you're going to end up with dirt and grime and buildup, and then it's going to need a wash. The third thing is I try to be careful with my makeup. Now I do wear a lot of makeup and I wear makeup every day, but if your makeup is touching the way that your hairstyle is, if it's touching the hair, it's going to get gunky and get buildup. So there's also that. What else? There's another thing that I wanted to talk about. Oh, be careful with sunscreens. Sunscreens can actually dye the hair and turn it a pinkish color. So that's kind of disappointing when it comes to human hair because a lot of us like to wear sunscreen every day, but I've definitely changed my practices since wearing human hair because I did have a piece turn on me. It wasn't a Uniwags piece. It was a different piece, but it turned on me because of sunscreen. But now I also try to stay out of the sun because I don't want the hair to fade and the color to fade on the toppers. So I just don't put the sunscreen on. And if I'm wearing sunscreen because I'm in the sun, then I'm not wearing one of my new and expensive toppers. When it comes to adding product, so that was the other question, depends on where you live. And again, you kind of get like a feel for it the longer you're wearing your topper. So I like to use a dry oil like this. Now I live in Canada. We've had snow since November, which means, the furnaces are on, the fireplaces are on. These things are really, really drying. And so when I wear a piece, I almost always put oil on it, at least every second day. I do a little spritz, 1 or 2 sprays, that's it. And I brush it through. I also really like to use, and I left it upstairs because I use it all the time, the BioSilk, which is like a silicone type product. And I sometimes use that. It smells really good. It helps my piece to feel fresh and clean. And when it, I told you when it gets dirtier, it starts to feel stuck. It will help to break that up. So that's a really great product to use as well. It just helps to make it feel fresh and good, but less is more when it comes to product because the more product you add, the faster you're going to need to wash. And washing will strip the hair of moisture and it will cause the color to fade over time. Just like it does with biological hair, right? If you go get your hair dyed and you wash your hair, what do you see that next day? You see the hair dye come out into the water. And so the same thing will happen with your toppers. So we do want to minimize how often we wash them if we're looking to extend the life. Also because typically after we wash them, we heat style them, and heat tools will strip color and moisture and cause split ends over time. I unfortunately don't have the caramel brown color. I'm so sorry. I'm going to try to get one though, so that the next time we do a live, I have something to show you. Okay. So I hope I answered the questions about product. Let's now get into Courtney versus Upgrade Aura. So actually I have one that's straight, so maybe it'll be better to show apples to apples. Actually, yeah, okay. Somebody wanted to see the difference between the truffle brown and the mousse brown as well. So this is truffle, so the solid color, and then this is the mousse. So it's a very similar base, I would say. I don't know if they're the same. I've always thought that the truffle is slightly darker, like maybe 1 shade darker than the base of the mousse. But now that I see them side by side, I'm like, maybe not. So you've got a medium brown base here, very neutral, and then these sort of warmer caramel highlights throughout. The truffle brown is a single color. It's more monotone. So monotone, is that right? Okay, so Upgrade Aura. It's a skin top, so it looks like this on the inside. It has a huge parting area. So everywhere in here, you can part it and get a natural looking scalp. Doesn't that look really natural? It's kind of cool, right? So it doesn't matter if I leave it where it was parted or I move it over here, you're always going to get that appearance, just like you do with the silk top. So that's kind of the neat thing about it. Upgrade Aura is fairly budget friendly too, compared or in contrast to Savannah. Savannah's a silk top, so she has that same realism. The difference is that Savannah is a little bit more flexible. This one is a little bit less flexible. You can kind of see here that it sits, it's going to sit beautifully on the head because it's a large base, but it just has less flexibility. So it's an ideal one to me if you're either going to add bangs to it or if you have bio hair to blend. For me, this would not be the ideal piece to have if you don't have a front hairline to blend. And I'll show you why. So if you don't have a front hairline, you have a million options, right? We have the closed lace. We have all of the ones that have the lace fronts. You could even pull it off with Savannah, but Upgrade Aura for me, I don't think would be my number one pick when there are so many other options. So I'll show you this. So you can just see that this front hairline is just a little bit more, I don't know what the word is, inflexible. But for the price point, if you're looking for that realistic looking scalp, you definitely get it with the Upgrade Aura. So that's kind of the nice thing. I'll show you another one. I have an Upgrade Aura here that's straight, and this is in the light moose brown color. So it's similar to the one that I was just wearing, the moose brown, but just a little bit lighter. It's kind of like the difference between the dusty ash brown and the soft dusty ash brown. So yeah, so you can see here again, there's kind of that like more severe line. Now you could color this in with a bit of a marker or some root powder or something like that to disguise it. But if you can imagine, if I could just pull out some of my bio hair and kind of conceal, this would be so good because it looks so realistic on the scalp. It just doesn't work brilliantly for me because of my front hairline. But yeah, if you can blend, it's good. And if you wanted to add a bang, it's great for that. Because then you've got the scalp and you would have a bang. So there are definitely options with the Upgrade Aura. The other thing you can do too is just conceal the front hairline, which is something that I tend to do with all of my wigs and toppers. I generally, even if there's lace, I don't wear stuff off of my head. I tend to just kind of conceal the lace, conceal the hairline. I just kind of tuck the hair in front of it, and then nobody knows, right? No one can really see that, I don't think. So this is the Upgrade Aura. And now I'm going to show you the Courtney by contrast. So were we looking at the regular Upgrade Courtney? Can you remind me if that's what you want? I think that's what you wanted to see. So Upgrade Aura, large parting area. The parting area for reference is here to here. So I could do a hugely deep side part and still have regular looking scalp. Isn't that crazy? It's pretty awesome. So there we go. And then I'll show you the Courtney. So, oh, you wanted to know about density for this too. Let me do a full turn so you can see what it looks like on me from all angles. Now this is an 18-inch, so it's super duper long, and my Courtneys are 16. So there's gonna be a discrepancy when it comes to length. Okay, so here's the full look at Upgrade Aura. This one is in the light moose brown, which is really just like a soft mousse. It's really pretty. And someone asked about storing. I just saw that. I would recommend in a cool, dark place. Keep them out of the sun. My first topper I left in my closet. Oops, sorry. And my closet has windows, and I left them in the sun, and they faded pretty quickly. Left it in the sun, and it faded really quickly. So definitely a cool, dark space, free of dust and debris, because again, we talked about not having to clean them, right? So if they're catching dust, you're going to have to clean them sooner. So the only thing I would normally say, just store them in the box, which is great if you're going to not wear it for a while. You just don't want to put it in the box if it's damp in any way. You don't want to get any mold or anything like that happening. So you want to make sure it's cool but not damp, and that it's dark. But you can also just buy hooks like this, right? And then you can hang them. So I'll show you. Can I do this without? I fear that I'm going to mess everything up, but I have a little clothing hanger like this that I hang these on, and then I cover it with a big clear plastic bag. So that keeps all of the dust and debris off of it, which is kind of nice. So you can just get those big garbage bags and just put it over. I also have in my closet but this works more for wigs than toppers, but I think it would work for toppers as well. I have little tennis balls with command hooks in them because tennis balls are grippy. And then I can just hang a piece right over the tennis ball and it'll hang on the wall. So that's for sort of the pieces that are like I'm wearing on repeat. You know, I just need to put it somewhere when I get home. And for a while, it was just always going over the bed or the banister or the bathtub. So now I have like a dedicated spot in my closet where I can just hang it until tomorrow. So that's a good option too. Silk bag is great as well. Yeah, for sure. I try to keep them hanging in a way that keeps the style in. That's just the only thing. Okay, I have to put on the Courtney. Where's Courtney? It's right here. So someone asked about the difference between Upgrade Aura and Courtney. So I had the Upgrade Aura on a second ago, and now I'm going to put on Upgrade Courtney in the original Dusty Ash Brown. Look at how good that halo wire is. Flat occipital bone, and it still just keeps everything right in place. And I sewed this on by myself. I'm very proud of my handiwork. It took me forever to thread the needle. That was the worst part. Old eyes. Okay, so thank you. By the way, I see that there are more questions popping up, so I'm going to take a look at those in just a second. Please, if you don't have your question answered yet, please ask it again. I'm really happy to see those pop up on there. I want to make sure that you get everything answered that you want to have answered, so ask away. Okay, so there's the Upgrade Courtney in, this is not, ooh, you might have wanted to see the low density one. Is that what you wanted to see? Could you just remind me, please? So this is the regular Upgrade Courtney, but it's not lace front. So it's monofilament top. I believe it's 130% density, if I'm not mistaken. Or 110 is what you said. You wanted the 110 one. This is not. This is the heavier one. Let me take this off. I'm sorry to the person who was asking to see this. I got the wrong one on. Oh, where are we? I just had it. Okay, Courtney, not Courtney. Upgrade Courtney, here we go. This is the 110% density Upgrade Courtney. It has the lace front. So I would say it does feel lighter than Aura. Part of the reason though is because Upgrade Aura has the skin top, right, which can take more hair, and then this one has the lace. So lace has, you know, fewer hairs in there because they're all hand tied in, and it just feels lighter overall because you don't have that extra piece of material. But in terms of coverage, they're probably similar. I would say that this one does feel like a little bit less, but again, it's because of the hand tied pieces. So this is the Upgrade Courtney 110% density lace front in moose brown. The hook doesn't make a dent in it. It does a little bit, but what I do is I tend to clip really far down. Well, this one's not a good example of me doing it well, but I will often just clip really far down and kind of move the hair. So it's like not the hair that's on the top, but the hair that's underneath. So and you will see that sometimes my hair looks a little wonky when I pull them off and then I have to touch them up. Would I recommend the Upgrade Courtney for someone with no bio hair at the front? Yes, I would, because that's what I'm wearing right now and I think it looks pretty good. So the only thing is the lace, like I don't have a halo wire in right now, so that's part of the problem, because there is a little bit of lift. But the way that I always wear hair covering anyways, I don't feel like anyone's going to notice. So anything with the lace front is going to be ideal if you don't have bio hair to blend, for sure. Are they selling the 110% density Courtney? Yes, I'm just going to ask the team there in a moment when they have a second if they could add the Upgrade Courtney that is with the lace front, please. That would be awesome. They do have it. Do you have a dark? dark brown with the left side parting. So all of these can be done with the side part. You know, the smaller hand tied area will limit how deep of a side part you can get. So something like this one, which is, this looks like Claire, upgrade Claire. You know, you have a slightly limited, it's probably 3 inches or something like that of parting space. So you can go slightly to the left, slightly to the right. But if you want the deep one, you can go with Upgrade Aura, you can go with the Silk Top Savannah, you can go with Breeze. Anything that has a large hand tied or silk area, you can go with a deep part. So yeah, you can move the parts around on all of these, which is kind of great. Oh, the link below is the one to the 110. Perfect. Thank you, Yenowigs. I just bought the Savannah, but the front clip seems to hurt and the part looks so drastic. Jen, have you moved up that part? Like, have you split up the part with some water? That's because if you haven't, that's definitely something I would recommend. So I don't know if you were here earlier, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. But this is like the upgrade Courtney out of the box, right? Without the part moved. And then the one that I was just wearing is with the part separated and broken up with a comb and some water. Makes a huge difference. So I definitely recommend doing that. And then the comb, are you talking about the wide comb that's at the front? This one here. Because I will say that I don't like front combs. And I never took it out, but I don't use it. I tried to for a while and I realized it wasn't necessary. I always thought that my topper would be, not secure enough if I didn't use the comb, but the reality is the clips were plenty. And if you install a halo wire, you definitely don't need the front comb. So you can just clip it out, just snip it through the little pieces of thread there, and you can just take it out and it'll be super soft on your head. Some women also do other stuff here. So I've seen things like barber's Velcro, but that didn't go well for me the one time that I tried it. And then some women also will do a piece of, not satin, velvet. So they like almost glue velvet in, or they sew velvet in, and then they get that really nice soft front. Velvet's actually kind of great because it also, like a wig grip, it just kind of keeps things in place, but without ripping out any of your own hair. So that would be a good one. They need to work on the lace to silk transition on that one. Oh, do you mean for Savannah that they should have a lace, like a lace front on Savannah? So silk at the back and then lace front? That would be kind of cool. Do you need to glue down the lace front, or can it come as closed lace front? Yeah, you can get closed lace front. So this one has that lace where you can glue it if you want, you can tape it if you want, but you can also get the closed lace. Which I was wearing earlier. So I'll put this one on because it's very similar. So this is the Airy Elegance in closed lace, Moose Brown. And this is that upgrade Courtney with the lace front. So they're gonna look very similar because they're in the same kind of color and they're similar in terms of density. But this one is the closed lace. So it's gonna have a harsher transition line without the lace front, but it's gonna work still, even with very little bio hair. Oh my goodness, here we go. So there's the Airy Elegance in Moose Brown closed lace, right up to the front. No, the lace Courtney. Oh, the transition, the lace, but the lace Courtney, you mean the area between the monofilament? Where is lace Courtney? That's not lace Courtney. Where'd she go? I just had it. Oh, there it is. There it is. So you mean the transition between here and here? So I will say, like, I've worked with a number of different companies, and all companies that have a monofilament to a lace, in my experience, they all have a PU strip, right? Something to create that transition. And so it is kind of like, you can go with the full lace if you don't like the transition strip, but it does need to be there in order to bind the materials together. I actually honestly find, and I'm not just saying this, I find the Uniwigs one to be quite well hidden compared to some other brands that I've worked with, where the P strip is further forward, and then you really kind of like see it right about here, whereas Unibig sits a little bit further back and they give you more of that lace front. But yeah, I don't know how else you would conceal it other than putting powder or something like that on it, or just getting a full lace top, unfortunately. Yeah, this is really pretty. Thank you. I agree. I think this is a really nice one. I have the upgrade Courtney issues bit. I have the upgrade Courtney, but issues with it moving back. I've tightened the halo wire and I've used texturizing spray and it still moves. Okay, let me put mine on again and see. Do I have a halo wire? Yeah, I have a halo wire on that one. Okay, so this is the one you have, right? It's the original Courtney with the monofilament top. So this one is in regular dusty ash, and you have the halo wire. So when you have it on, you feel like it moves back on you. Is your halo wire staying in place, or is your halo wire moving as you wear the topper, Jane? I would be curious to know, because I have felt the halo wire move on me. And so then once upon a time, I did a little video, and it was kind of a fun thing to try out. You can't wear your hair up this way, but what I did was I took the extra clips that Uniwigs provides, these little ones, and then I clipped the halo wire at the nape in place, and it kind of worked out. So you feel like this is sliding back on you here. The only thing that I feel like I could suggest is, so as I feel it, I'm realizing there are no clips here, right? So the clips are coming in here and here. So maybe adding another clip at the very back and then kind of scooping the hair. You know how you can like scoop the hair and it pulls back like this? Or you can scoop the hair and push it forward. I would try installing another clip at the very back of the topper and then try scooping and pushing forward as you clip it in. Does that kind of, I don't know if you've tried that. That would be what I would try. And then you said you've already used texturizing spray, right? So that would kind of be my last, other than hairspray or something like that, on your clips. Some women use, I think I mentioned the Velcro's barber, and they just put it like under their clips, but I didn't love doing that. And Uniwigs does sell Velcro barber. It just doesn't work for me so well. So it is an option though. The halo is staying in place, but the halo is staying in place, but this part is moving back on you. I wish I had better advice. I'm racking my brain trying to figure out, maybe somebody else in the comments, if you have an idea for Jane, let us know. I definitely think, Jane, I would try to install another clip or two. That would be my, you could do the comb at the front as well, like one of these combs. I don't love the combs, but if I had a topper slipping, I might try to use one. But I honestly think the best thing would be to do a clip at the back, scoop, and kind of push forward. Yeah. Jane, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram if you wouldn't mind. I'd like to know if it works for you, because if it doesn't work, I definitely want to try to help you figure something out, because Courtney is so beautiful and I want it to work. So please send me a message. Let me know how it goes and we'll put our heads together and try to figure something out. Your hair, they literally look like your bio hair. Thanks. They are pretty great. I'm new and I don't know, where do I start? Okay. Now we've got a whole group of women here, some of whom are new, some of whom are experts in wearing hair toppers. So I'm going to call on the community here. Feel free to jump in with advice. But when it comes to where to start, I would say, first of all, I'd be assessing, like, what is my budget? And because that's going to potentially narrow out options. Do I want my topper to be wavy or straight? Because then you're going to decide whether you go for the Chinese Remy human hair, which can be made more sleek and straight like this one, or if you're going to go with the Burmese, which can have a really nice natural wavy texture, can still be straightened, but will give you the ability to really like have nice texture, nice wave. And then I would be wanting to ask you about your front hairline. So do you have a lot of hair at the front? to be able to blend with the topper? Or do you want to be able to just wear the topper right to the front of your hairline? Once you have those questions answered, it becomes a little bit easier. How much coverage also do you want over your head? So the kind of general rule of thumb is a smaller topper is going to cover a smaller area of your head. And that means your own biological hair is going to stick out. So for me, when I was new to wearing toppers, it was during COVID and I wasn't going to see my hairstylist. So I needed something that was going to cover my head enough that my bio hair wasn't showing through, because I wasn't dyeing my bio hair. I had a big streak of gray at the front, and I just couldn't be bothered trying to get it to dye to match. So that meant finding something that was going to give sufficient coverage that you couldn't see the bio hair poking through. So larger cap would be good if that's what you want, but it's also going to mean that you have more hair overall. It's just going to feel like more hair. If you want something that feels lighter, then go for a smaller topper cap, but be prepared to have your bio hair peek through a little bit. So then it has to match in terms of texture, and it has to match in terms of color. So I think those are the big considerations. And then from there, you can kind of, play around with different options. If you're just wondering, like, what are some of the great beginner styles? I think a lot of the things that Uniwigs has just come up with are really good entry points. And I think those who are in the chat would probably agree with me on this one. So the closed lace collection, really great. They can easily be worn to the front hairline and look natural, as well as that upgrade Courtney that has the lace front. Both of those are awesome because they don't have to be blended. They're lightweight, but they still give good coverage. It's kind of like good beginner stuff. I hope that helps. I'll happily answer more questions, so if you have more, please do let me know. I tried to move the part to the left, but now all the hair is in my face, even though I've tried to blow it back and use water. Okay, Jen, I don't remember what your topper is that you have. Is it the Courtney? So, okay. When you used water, did you saturate it or did you just give it a light misting? Because I will say, if it's been in, like, let's say it's been in the center part or whatever for a really long time, kind of like with bio hair, you know how you have your one side that you can part more easily on because you've been parting on that side for so long. And then if you switch, you end up with kind of like that extra lift for a little while. And then after a long time of wearing your hair on that side, it becomes the favorite side for parting. I feel like toppers are a little bit like that. But they definitely, like, I've definitely been successful in moving them. So like the upgrade Aura, for example, this one here, yeah, this one came with a center part, and then I moved it to the side, and I kind of did add volume. That was part of the video that I had been making, was to show how to really mess it up and give it volume, but I was able to do it. I did have to apply a lot of water though. If you're finding that it's still lifting, you could apply the water, make the part happen, and then use like some sort of, I don't know, like I'm looking here, there is a stocking cap, like a wig cap. It looks like pantyhose, but it's not. So something like this, and just hold it down as it dries. So if you have a canvas head, well, that's a good idea. This is something women have suggested before when it comes to getting the lace to lay flat. If your lace is ever lifting, they do this technique. So you could put on a canvas head your topper, pin it in. If you're ever going to pin into a topper, you want to be pinning not into the lace or the silk. So you want to be pinning where you've got those clips on the side. Do the water, part where you want to part, and then lay a band or a ribbon or something like that over the area to help push it down, and then secure this with pins on the side. And once it dries, you should lift and probably have a flatter part line. That would be my best advice. I don't know if it's going to work, but I think it's going to work. Hopefully. If it does, let me know. This is one of my favorites. Can you compare mousse brown to the soft, dusty ash brown? Yes, I can. Does the Courtney come in light mousse brown? That's a good question. That's one for the team. Uniwigs does the Courtney come in light mousse brown. I don't remember. If you take a look on their website though, I believe the code is 512 for the light mousse, if I'm not mistaken. So you can check it out on their website, but I'm not sure off the top of my head. I'm sorry. I'm comparing mousse brown to the soft dusty ash brown. Okay, I got that. So soft dusty ash. Now this one hasn't had the part broken up yet, so bear with me. Sometimes when I get a topper like this, I like to leave it intact and not mess up the part line, because part of my having these is I do like to wear toppers, but also I want to be able to showcase things for these lives and when women have questions. So I always like to have one or two that look brand new out of the box, so you can kind of see where you start and then where we end up. So bear with me, because this one's going to look a little unnatural, but that's because it is right out of the box. So this is the soft dusty ash brown Courtney upgrade, not lace front. Okay, so this is the soft dusty ash brown color. Now it is a little bit difficult because I'm standing in front of a ring light and I've got all the lights on, but it's nighttime. So I don't know how authentic it is. When I look in the mirror, I feel like it looks, and in the camera, I feel like it looks very natural and realistic, but I don't know what you're seeing on your end. So the soft dusty ash brown, it's the same as the original in that you have a lot of the same colors, but they're just so evenly blended and like a little bit more muted. You still do have a bit of a bright face framing piece. Actually, on camera, this is showing up a lot brighter than it is in person. This is not so stark when I look in the mirror. The rest of this looks very accurate to me right now. This part is looking brighter. There is a bright piece here, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's like, it's almost looking platinum on camera here, but in person it's not. So soft dusty ash. Versus mousse brown. Is there any particular Dancing Wolves, is there any particular topper you'd like to see with the mousse brown? Does it matter? Oops, I didn't unclip this one. Maybe I did. Do you have a sample of espresso brown? I don't. I'm sorry, Giselle. I'm gonna try really hard to get both the one with the caramel, the dark caramel, and espresso so that I have samples of both. So why don't we do, we'll do this one. And maybe we'll do this one. What have we got here? Do you want to see the upgrade Courtney or Claire in mousse brown? Very similar. I'll show you both and then I'll put one on. So we have this one here is the upgrade Courtney. It's 110% density. We've got the monofilament area, the lace front, mousse brown, and then this one is the upgrade Claire. So we still got a nice big monofilament parting area, lace front, but a smaller topper overall. So just slightly less coverage. Both these are mousse brown. You'd like to see the light mousse brown. Okay, I will show you the light mousse. But first I'll show this one because someone wanted to see the contrast between the dusty ash brown, the soft dusty ash, and the mousse. So this is the mousse, regular mousse, if we're looking to see. Versus the soft dusty ash brown. So considerably darker. This is definitely a brown. This is like, we've got kind of a blonde going on here. So I hope that helps. And then I can throw back on the light mousse brown. Now that was in the upgrade Aura. I can find her. There she is. So this is the light mousse. Natural black. I don't have that here either. I'm so sorry. I'm going to work on that. I am going to try to work on having more color options to show you, but I have seen the natural black on a color ring, which I guess I could bring down in my next live, I will bring a color ring down. It's really truly like a natural black color. So when I looked at the color ring, you could see little strands, like it's clearly an undyed hair, because when you see the sample, it's black, but then you have like, there was like one reddish kind of colored hair that was woven in there. So it clearly was the color in the hair when it was cut, which is kind of cool. I have a custom Chinese hair breeze because I love sleek, straight hair. It dries with a wave. After washing, should I blow dry it with a rolling brush or before flat ironing, or just, such a good question, or just air dry and flat iron? So, sorry, you said it was Chinese hair. Yeah, so with my Chinese piece, I've only ever let it dry and then use the flat iron. You could use a round brush. The only thing that worries me a little bit about doing that, and I did that with my first ever Uniwigs piece, which was an original Courtney before they did the upgrade. My only thing that makes me nervous is that this hair, as I mentioned earlier, it's processed, right? It starts off dark brown and then it's dyed. And then it's not getting the natural oils from your scalp being brushed through like your biological hair has. And so my worry is that, we know that hair is more fragile when it's wet. So if we're pulling on it with a round brush, you might be more likely to cause split ends and frizzing, and then you're not going to get that sleek look. If you felt like it would be helpful, like if you're finding that it's still too wavy for your liking, then maybe you could put it on a canvas block and use like a wide brush, like something like this, and a paddle brush, and kind of brush through it as it's drying. And that would probably be less damaging. But if I think about my round brush, like my round brush has a lot of bristles, and I just feel like it would be a little bit aggressive. So this one here, Chinese hair, let it air dry. It had a beautiful wave. I left it that way for a while, and then I straightened it with a flat iron, and this is what I got. And I think it looks really good. So, are the toppers real hair or synthetic? So they do have some synthetic toppers, but everything that I'm showing here tonight is real human hair. How do you get rid of them? Rid of that? I'm sorry, Jesse, if you could just, or Jessica, if you could just let me know. Oh, sorry, you put your topper before, or your question before, and I missed it. My topper keeps making a big bump, like what's happening right now on yours. Do you mean here? Is that what you're talking about? I don't know if you mean on this topper, if one I was wearing earlier. So, okay, one thing, once I put the halo wire on, that does make a difference. The second thing is, okay, there's probably 3 things you can do. 1, put on the halo wire. 2, when you wash it and it's wet, make sure that you part further back. So this one kind of stopped. You can see that the parting stops right about here, right? And that means I've got lots of lift up here, which is not helping. So I would need to extend that part further back, and that will help, right? Because if I'm blow drying it down, it keeps popping up because of the way it was styled. But you can imagine if this was blow dried to have a deeper part, all of a sudden it looks a lot better, right? The third thing to do is to wash it, let it air dry. And when it's almost done being dry, but like the cap itself is still damp, pop it on your head. So a lot of times we're drying either flat or putting on a canvas head, and that's not the shape of our own head. So I do feel like I used to do this with my own toppers all the time, actually, just pop them on and wear them around the house. And then they kind of dry in place, molded to my head. So that's another thing. And then over time, the more you wear the topper, the more it really does kind of just kind of conform to your head. So hopefully that helps. Let me know if it works for you. Yeah, the light mousse brown is really pretty. Are the toppers real? Okay, I'm gonna go back up because I feel like I've missed a few messages. Have you ever found that wearing toppers are making your real hair more scarce? So I'm sorry, I addressed this earlier, so if you heard this response earlier, hang with me for a sec, but I think it's such an important question that I'd like to answer it again. So personally, no, I did not experience traction alopecia from wearing toppers. I was worried that I would. I was really worried because when I first started wearing toppers, I was wearing those clips really aggressively. Like I was going in, I was scooping up as much hair as I could. I was pulling it down tightly because I thought it was going to blow off. There were no halo wires, no grips. And I thought, oh my goodness, I'm going to be left with no hair. At the time, I decided that it didn't matter. Like I was still going to wear toppers, even if it caused further hair loss. But I never actually experienced any hair loss, just a little bit of soreness. And so I started loosening up in terms of like literally loosening up how much hair I was putting into those clips, but then also just my approach to wearing toppers. Someone once commented on a video of mine, probably about 2 years ago now. I put on a topper in a video and she said, wow, you really just like flop it on your head and barely clip it in. And it's true, I barely clip it in because I know that it's going to stay put. And really, you don't need to be aggressive with the clips. So not only are you not going to lose more hair that way, but it's just going to be more comfortable. One time I was caught, I've told this story before, but I was caught on a tarmac coming back from BC. I was visiting my mom and I just didn't think. I was late because the connector plane was late and I had to run. They like let me off the plane first so I could catch my connection. And I got off and I ran on the tarmac and a gust of wind hit and I went, oh my goodness, because when I left the hospital, I popped my topper on to head to the airport just as I normally would, not thinking that I was going to be stuck on, running on a tarmac or anything like that. And I remember thinking, oh my goodness. And there's nothing I could do, right? I got to my gate and I had to go board the next plane. But eventually when I went to the bathroom, I checked and it hadn't moved. It was okay. So after that, I really realized, you don't need to be aggressive with the clip. So I personally haven't experienced hair loss from toppers. That doesn't mean that women don't. Some do. But the other nice thing is that Uniwigs uses the pressure-friendly clips. These are super gentle. You can see how easy open close they are and the prongs on them. This is ideal. So I will bring some with me next time that I do a live. I'll have to make a note to remember, but I can show you what some other companies use that are far more aggressive. They look like angry clips. They have like double prongs on them. Those I would not trust near my hair. I've tried them on and found them to be painful, but the Uniwigs clips are good clips. And I'm not just saying that. I really, I mean it. They're good clips. And I've talked to other women who actually have ordered specifically, like they order these whatever from Uniwigs so that they can have more of the Uniwigs clips because they like them so much. So that's a testament to them. Thank you. I've been wearing all day. I can attest that these are beautiful. I bought a Burmese hair. Thanks for sharing, Jessica. I love that because I know that I'm here and I'm trying to help and answer questions, but it's so much more meaningful when it comes from other women who are just regular customers and they're sharing. So thank you for that. Could you show us the hairline up close, please? For this one, Diana, or for a different one? So this one doesn't have a good front hairline. It's meant to be blended with your bio hair. So this one you would typically wear a little bit further back and then pull your own hair out to blend. But because I don't have a lot of hair, I'm just going to wear it right to the front of the hairline. So this one's be great for blending or great if you want to do bangs. But if you're looking for the seamless hairline, this is probably not the one for you. But we have others that I could show you. Light mousse brown, real or synthetic. Okay, I'm going to go back up because I think I missed some questions from earlier. I have a custom Chinese breeze. Loves true. Okay, so we did that. Do you have an 18-inch upgrade Courtney monotop? I think all of the Courtneys that I have are 16. Yes, I think this is a 16 as well. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. What is the length of the toppers? This one is a 16. Espresso brown. Yeah, Melissa, they are beautiful colors. The upgrade Courtney, okay, that's an answer from Uniwigs. Does the Courtney come in the light mousse brown? Can you compare mousse brown to the soft? Okay, I think I'm actually caught up. Woohoo! We're caught up in questions. Okay, so I'm trying to think of what I haven't shown you in terms of styles. Okay, I don't know what you would like to see, but I thought it might be fun to do a little updo of some sort with a wide headband, like a way that you could wear your topper for sport or hiking. But before I do that, I suppose it might be good to show you some of the toppers that we haven't looked at yet. So we can do that. Yeah, let me show you a couple of ones that are maybe less familiar. We don't see them as often, but they're still really cute. So I see one over here that I love. So this one, I think it's so cute. It's called Silk Essence. So I showed you Savannah earlier. Maybe I could show you Savannah again after, but Silk Essence is completely like the whole top is partable area, which is amazing. I don't know the dimensions. I feel like it's a 5x7 or something like that. But you can see I've got it in a center part. And because they have the diamond netting underneath, it just looks like natural scalp, even when you have something dark under it. So that's kind of cool, right? The only thing is it does have that edge at the front, which you have to conceal. So if you have bio hair to blend, this is a really fun option because it's just so darn cute. I love the way that it's tied. Like, I feel like it's, I don't know if it's hand tied. It looks like it's hand tied. And I don't know. I just love this one. And so here we go. So this is Silk Essence. It has a good amount of coverage at the top. Because of the hand, I'm sure it's hand tied. It has to be. You can just see the way that you can get volume at the top there. You tend to get that, right? When you have hand tied pieces and the return hairs are there. So I just love that you can get so much volume on it. You could do a bang, but it's not crazy coverage. So when I turn around, I just feel like it looks natural. So Silk Essence, ear tuckable. It's cute, right? What do you think of this one? No such plan. Do you know if you wigs will ever have color between espresso and natural black? So if you're in that boat, I would recommend going for the espresso and then having it dyed darker by a colorist, which is something that you can do, right? Because they're human hair, which is great. Show me a topper with a hairline that doesn't need to be blended. I have a very high forehead. Absolutely. All right. So Arlene, I don't know if you prefer something that is with lace that you could glue down, or do you prefer something, that needs to be worn right to the front hairline without glue? I'll show you a few different options. So a closed lace Breeze. This is truffle brown. It has a reinforced edge at the front here. This whole thing is like a hand-tied area. It's super lightweight, super breathable. You can part anywhere in this area. So this is a really great option to blend or to be worn to the front hairline. Ooh. All right. So you can see I don't have any hair blended in here, but I still think that it looks really good. So there we go. So this would be Breeze Truffle Brown Closed Lace, worn right to the front hairline without glue. My own bio hair is going to stick out at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that here. So you just have to ignore that for now because it's a little bit too long to be worn with the topper. Okay, so there's that one. And then we'll put on the Airy Elegance, which is from the same line. So with a closed lace Airy Elegance, it's a little bit smaller overall. So the Breeze is a large cap. It's like 8.5 by 9. So the clips are going to sit a little bit further down on your head, whereas the Airy Elegance is a little bit smaller. I think it's 6.5 by 7.5 or something like that. You'll see the stats up there in a minute. And this one is in Moose Brown. So just like with Breeze, it could be worn right to the front hairline. It could be blended if you wanted to blend it, but since you prefer not to, you don't have to with this one, which I love. So, oh my goodness, the static is really, it's getting the best of me right now. I am ready for winter static to go away. Okay. So now we can take a look at Airy Elegance right at the front hairline. Try and get as close as I can here. So it's going to have slightly less coverage overall because the clips are hitting me here and the back is hitting me here, whereas with the Breeze, it's a little bit further down. Airy Elegance in Moose Brown. And then more natural waves. So all of these have natural waves actually. The ones that I'm showing right now, they're Burmese human hair. And so once they get wet and they're air dried, if you don't straighten them, this is a bad example because I haven't really done a whole lot to it to get that curl to go, but you can see that I could really work this to get very curly hair. So they could have a lot more wave if you wanted it. So these are the closed lace options. Now you can also do something that you know, would ordinarily require glue, but you don't have to use the glue. You can use a halo wire instead. So something like, I had a piece earlier that I wanted to show you. Oh, we do have this one. You know what, maybe I'll show you this because I showed you the Breeze and closed lace. Here's a Breeze that is in the not closed lace, so it's the Swiss lace, but you can see how with the halo wire, it helps to pull it flush to the head, so you don't really need glue. Now the lace on this is a little bit long. I would want to cut it shorter, but I did want to leave this one to show you what it looks like right out of the box. So the lace is uncut. But depending on your head size, you can get away without using adhesives, even with the lace, the Swiss Lace Luxe collection. But if you're worried about any lifting, then you might just want to go for the closed lace. So this is Breeze from the Swiss Lace Luxe collection without any adhesives applied. And now I'll show you one more. We'll look at the Courtney Upgrade 110% density with the lace front. It also lays pretty nicely at the front with the halo wire. Actually, I don't even have a halo wire in it, but I know it will because I have the original Courtneys with halo wires. So another great option if you don't have a strong hairline and you just want to have something that you can wear right to the front. So there's the lace. You can see I'm lifting it here, but with a halo wire, it would pull it totally flush to my head. And I have a small head. So if you have a larger head than I have, it will definitely lay flush. Closed lace doesn't need blending. So generally speaking, closed lace does. Like the general consensus when it comes to closed lace is that you blend it. I just personally don't think it's necessary with the Uniwaves ones. Now I haven't tried on that many closed lace toppers from that many other companies, but what I have tried on has felt heavier in the front, if that makes sense. And because of that, I don't think you can get away with wearing all closed lace pieces right to the front hairline. But the way that Uniwaves has made theirs, as you saw with the first two that I put on, they're really light and kind of fluffy feeling at the front. So I can wear mine right to the front and I think it looks really natural. If someone's getting really close to you, they might go, what the heck, right? Because there's no like little transition like with this one. You're going to have individual hand-tied hairs sewn that make a more realistic looking hairline, right? Like it kind of weaves, but with the closed lace, it's more of a straight semicircle. I personally feel like it wasn't very detectable though with that closed lace personally, but most people will tell you closed lace should be blended. Other toppers with more natural wave, definitely anything with Burmese hair will have a natural wave when you air dry it. And you can use a diffuser, curly girl method, all of that. I have the Breeze closed lace and open lace Airy Elegance, and the Breeze is amazing to blend, amazing no blend topper. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. So it's good to know that I'm not the only person who feels like you don't need to blend closed lace. I agree. I think it's just such an easy way to wear it. And if you put the halo wire on, it just pops into place and you're ready to go. I have amber with a bang, but I want one with no bang and look natural. I'm not familiar with amber, if I'm honest, so I don't know exactly what I would recommend, but definitely all the ones that I just showed you, I feel like are so good. So this is the upgrade Courtney. This one I feel like looks natural. I don't know what amber's base is, so I'm not sure what a comparable would be. If you know what the base is of amber and you let me know, I can show you comparable cap constructions though. If anyone knows, what is amber in terms of her cap construction and her size? Airy Elegance, you have to show. Yes, I did show that. 16-inch Courtney. I love that. What's a halo wire? That's a great question. I will show you that. So I'm just popping back through the questions to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, I don't think I did. So halo wires, oops, sorry. Halo wires are these little clear wires that take the place of a topper grip. So they are attached directly to the topper and they just help to keep that thing in place. Extra security. It helps with comfort as well because then it takes some of the pressure off of the clips. But when it comes to a lace piece, it just pulls it down and helps it to lay flush. It allows the cap to sit closely to your head. So they're so fantastic, but you don't have to use them. So when you purchase a topper now from Uniwigs, they tend to come with the halo wire not installed, but you'll see here there's these little material tabs. So you just pop it in like a bra strap and then you tighten it to your desired tightness. You can loosen it and it just is going to sit at the back, the nape of your head and keep everything flush and in place. They are really amazing. I was a skeptic at first because I have such a flat occipital bone that I didn't think they would work for me, but they do, which means that they work for everybody, I would assume. Okay, this one's actually not tight enough right now, but you saw how I just put that sort of around here and then around the back. It's far too loose on me right now, but it would just help to pull the topper into place. Like, if I can do it like this. So if I was holding it tighter, it just really keeps it secure. You're not going to have any lifting at the front because that's where the halo wire is pulling down from, but it's not uncomfortable in any way. It's really quite a great invention. And if you have an older topper from Uniwigs, you can still get the halo wire and just sew it on yourself, which is relatively easy to do. So I did that myself with, you can tell because it's a really bad sewing job, but I did it to this Courtney last week. So you can just see I just attached, because when you purchase, I don't know if I have one handy. When you purchase a Uniwigs topper, it comes with a halo wire. And the halo wire has a little piece of material attached to it. So then you just sew the material onto your topper and then you hook the bra strap in and it just keeps everything so nicely in place. Are they returnable? Yes, there is a return policy. I think it's 30 days, but they send a card with every order that will tell you the return policy. There we go. So that comes in every order. So it's all the information, a QR code to scan. Here we go. So I'll put this one on and I'll answer those last few questions. Silk mono or skin silk mono or lace? What do you think most looks natural? Okay, I like this question, but it's so difficult to answer because I think it depends on the person and their individual needs. So, okay, the most natural looking scalp, in my opinion, is actually the skin top. So I will show you right now why I think that's the case as soon as I find my skin top. Here it is. So we have Upgrade Aura here with this beautiful skin top that looks so natural, right? So the material that they use I don't know what it is, but the color of it is so good. If you're looking down at the top of my head, you don't see any knots. You just see what looks like scalp. And as a short person, everybody towers over me. If they look down, I don't think that they would ever suspect that that's not my scalp. So I love the skin top for that. The front hairline, which I showed before of the skin top though, is a little bit harsh if you don't have bio hair to blend. So you either have to wear the hair down and kind of covering it, or you have to have a bang, or you blend it. So if you have enough hair to blend or you want to add a bang, I think the skin top is really realistic looking. The other very realistic looking piece that you don't have to worry about powders or scar tape or anything like that is Savannah, the silk top. So that one also has this realistic looking scalp. Now, for whatever reason, the material I feel like to me just looks less like my natural scalp color, but the flexibility of Savannah and the comfort of Savannah and the density of Savannah, chef's kiss. It's a 9x9 topper and it is so comfortable. It has like stretch in the wefts. It's so good, like super flexible. So this one looks super realistic as well from the top. It has less of a harsh front hairline, but it does have a lot of density at the front. So if you cut bangs into it, it can look really realistic. If you have hair to blend, bio hair to blend, it will look more realistic. But I always wore this right to the front of my hairline and I still think it looked pretty realistic. The most realistic look at the front hairline that you're going to get though probably is a lace front piece. So that would be like the Swiss Lace Luxe collection, or the one that I just had on, that Courtney with the lace front, or something like this Claire with the lace front, because if the lace matches your skin, it's almost going to look like the hair is growing out of your scalp. So those look very realistic. But if the lace is lifting anyway, or you're concerned about the grid pattern, or if you have like dark hair and you don't part your hair where the parting is. So here, look, it looks so natural because it's on my skin. But if I was to put it on top of dark hair, it looks slightly less natural. So then you have to use some scar tape or some powder to make it look more realistic. But if you're willing to do those things, then you will have a very natural looking, realistic looking topper. So you can buy, Wigs will include this in a topper purchase, but you can also buy them, a little piece of scar tape, you put it underneath, and it's going to keep sort of that, instead of being transparent, it'll be opaque, and it'll be beige colored opaque, so it'll look like skin. The monofilament top is very similar to the lace, it's just a little bit thicker. So that's what I'm wearing right here. So I don't know, I have nothing on. There's no scar tape. There's just a little bit of powder that I put. So the monofilament, it is thicker, right? So like this part here is thicker than the lace that's up here. So I don't know if that looks more or less natural. It's interesting because if you look really closely and you see the little knots, it might look more unnatural, but I feel like it holds powder so well that when you just put like a little bit of face powder, it creates a really natural looking part. So I feel like all of them are natural in their own ways, depending on how they're born and how you blend them. It might not be the answer you're looking for, but it's really how I feel. And sometimes what I think is the most natural looking topper, I'm like, this is the most natural looking topper. This is the one that I feel the best in. And then I try something else and I'm like, oh, this one's really good too. So that's why I think it's so hard for me to say, because I was sure can be for the longest time that Savannah was the best thing since sliced bread. And I do love Savannah. But then when I tried those close lace, those are fantastic, right? So the most natural one is the one that you feel comfortable in. I know that sounds cheesy, but it's true. Once you have a topper that you feel good in, you feel like is the right amount of hair for you, the right cut, and you've kind of got that cap conforming to your head, you've styled it in a way that makes sense for you, that's when it starts to look natural because you walk around with a different kind of confidence. That's really the key. And like I said, I know it sounds kind of cheesy, but it's just the truth. Looking for white hair for older women. Maybe someone from customer support could help. I am not sure which toppers come in natural gray. Natural gray is a little bit tricky to find, but maybe someone from customer support could help guide you in that. Otherwise, there are synthetic options that probably Wigs has in the gray or the white. I'm sorry that I don't have a better answer. for that. But if Uniwigs does have toppers that are gray, I would love to get my hands on one and have it as a sample. So I'll see what I can do for a future live. I'm going to try to get the espresso, the dark caramel, and I will also try to get something in natural black and maybe a gray as well for the future. What topper are you talking about? Because I made bangs on my closed lace Airy Elegance. Oh, that's amazing. 60 makeup by Julie. That's awesome. I would assume that if you put bangs on the closed lace Airy Elegance so that they were like a thinner, right? Is that what happened? Oh, we got one. Sylvia. Gray monotop with pre-cut layers. There we go. I'm going to have to check that one out. Sylvia, I need to remember that for the white topper. What color am I wearing right now? This is Dusty Ash Brown, the original Dusty Ash Brown. Hi, Julie. By the way, I saw that you said hi and I didn't say hi back. Okay, let's see. I think there's one or two more questions. We are supposed to end at 10 and we're over 10 now. So I'm just going to answer the last few questions before we say goodbye, but also, yeah. Can you get the Breeze in the 110%? I don't know the density of Breeze, but Breeze, even if Breeze is a heavier density, it feels really light because you have so much of a hand-tied area. So it doesn't give you heavy coverage. You know what I mean? Like this is the original Courtney. So it's heavier than 110%. I think it's 120, 130, something like that. But Breeze, you know, Courtney has like this much monofilament and then the rest is wefts. So it's going to feel heavier. Breeze has this huge area that's hand tied. And so it's not going to feel like heavy coverage. But I don't know what the density is. I feel like it might be 120 or something. I'll pop this on, answer the last question or two. And of course, if you ever have any questions, the Uniwigs team is amazing and they're always able to help. You can also reach out to me anytime on Instagram. I'm happy to work with you to help you to find, you know, troubleshooting answers or find the topper that works for you when it comes to colors. I'm really happy to do that anytime. So this is the closed lace Breeze. So you can see, I mean, it's fluffier, right? It's like when you have the hand tied, you end up with a little bit more volume from those return hairs, but it's not a heavy density, if that makes sense. Okay. Let's see what we have. If I missed any questions. Thank you so much for being here. If you've hung out with us, I am grateful. It's so nerve-wracking to be on camera. And every time I show up, I have such a good time. Women are so kind and so generous with their suggestions for one another. And then I just feel so good afterwards to be part of such an awesome community. I'm so lucky and fortunate to be part of it. I'm in California. Hi, Julie from California. I'm a little jealous. We're in a deep freeze in Canada. Okay, I think I've answered. I know I'm shaking the camera. I'm sorry. It's as I'm trying to scroll up. Do we have 14-inch? I don't have anything here that is 14-inch, but there are 14-inch options on the website. And you can always get it trimmed to match your own bio hair, which is definitely recommended when you can do that. Whoever said the favorite comment, that is very sweet. How do you clean a topper? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. I just want to make sure, I think that's the only message that I'm missing. How do you clean a topper? Okay. Yes, I think the last question that I missed was how to clean a topper. So this is not 14-inch. This is actually 16, I think. I'm pretty sure. But it has a bit of a wave in it, which is maybe why it looks shorter. Yeah. Okay, so to clean your topper, I'm going to show you without water, but it's so easy to do. You just, first of all, okay, step one, make sure that your topper is in good shape. So we're going to clear the clips of any hair, close the clips. This is like number one. Sometimes we don't think about these things. It makes a huge difference. So close the clips first and make sure they are free of hair. Number 2, brush out the hair gently and make sure that it's free of tangles before you wash it. Hair is really a lot more fragile when it's wet, so you want to take care of it by having it brushed out. And then in your sink, you're going to put a little bit of shampoo. Clean your sink first. Make sure your sink is clean. Plug the hole. Put in a bit of shampoo. Lukewarm water. Shake it up so that it's nice and foamy and sudsy. And then you're going to take your topper. I hold where if I want to keep my part line intact. If you don't want to keep your part line intact, it's not as big of a deal. But if I want to keep my part line intact, I put my thumb over that part line. And then I'm going to do this into the sink. I'm going to put the topper in. I'm going to kind of swish it around like this. And then I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to squeeze the water out. And then I'm going to plunge it in again. And then I'm going to squeeze it out. And then I'm going to plunge it in again. And I'm going to squeeze it out. And I'm going to keep doing that process because I told you I don't wash my toppers very often. Like I wait a couple of months. It's going to be really dirty. It's going to look gross. Clear the water. Rinse again under the tap gently. Rinse. Fill the sink again. More shampoo. You want to go with paraben-free and sulfate-free shampoo. And then once again, you're going to plunge into the water and squeeze out. And then for that second round, I usually wash it twice. You could go 3 times. Lukewarm water, not too hot because it will, cause the color to get stripped. And then I'm going to take some shampoo right on my hand and I'm going to go in and do this to the cap. So I'm actually going to clean the cap with soap in my hand. I'm going to go in and gently clean the monofilament, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to clean the lace really carefully. And then rinse again, lukewarm water. The final step is to apply conditioner. So when you're applying conditioner, and this is the key, by the way, is really to do the plunge and just rinse the water out with your hands, because some women, they just you can even let it soak in the tub if you want, that's fine. But the problem becomes when women just kind of go all crazy and they start scrubbing at it, then they get tangled messes. And I have had women, it's been a while now, but a couple of years ago, send me messages going, I don't know what to do. I ended up getting it into a big tangled mess. So just be gentle with it. And also keep in mind that if you're going with water and it's a hand-tied piece and has a hand-tied area like lace, you don't want to do this right under the heavy pressure of the tap, because it could cause some of the hairs to point downwards into the inside of the cap. So that's where it's having it on your wrist or something like this as you're rinsing is really nice. Okay, so then you're going to rinse it. Completely rinse it. By the way, I will wrap it up after this, I promise. I don't want to go too far over time, but I do think it was a great question. Take some conditioner and you're going to apply it from mid-shaft to roots. So I squeeze out all the water. I take my conditioner, I apply it from about here down, and then I'm going to let it sit for about 5 minutes. I typically use, you can use any conditioner, it doesn't really matter, but I typically use a deeper, not a leave-in conditioner, but I can't think of the word. I love the Amika soul food one, but you can get the silicone one that's really cheap on Amazon. That works as well. So coat it, let it sit for about 5 minutes, and then rinse it out. The reason I said mid-shaft down is because if you get conditioner on the knots, so any piece that's hand-tied, it can loosen the knots, and then it can cause shedding or hair loss. So it's really, really important that you only apply. I mean, sometimes I almost don't want to recommend it, but sometimes I'll take a little bit of conditioner and I'll kind of put it here like this and try to keep it away from the cap. But I'm a little more daring now that I have experience washing hair. At the beginning, I was super careful. And then after that, pat it to dry. So take a towel and instead of rubbing it, just kind of lay your topper on the towel and then fold it over like a little burrito and pat it dry. Then you can brush it through gently, put in a little leave-in spray. This is actually just water right now because it was empty, but I have one of these upstairs that's full. It's a blowout spray. I don't love putting a lot of product in my hair. Less is more for product, but I do about 2 spritzes of this because it's a blowout spray, but it also acts as a great conditioner. So a leave-in conditioner of some sort, paraben-free, sulfate-free, just a couple spritzes, brush it out, lay it flat to dry. Once it's almost completely dry, but the cap is still damp, put it on your head and wear it, and it will help to conform to your head instead of on a canvas head where it's going to take the shape of the canvas head. So yeah, hopefully that helped. I know it was kind of hard because I didn't actually like demonstrate, but maybe that was helpful for you. Thanks to Uniwigs for putting my Instagram handle up there. I really appreciate it. And if you've forgotten any of these things and you want to message me for clarification down the road, I'm super happy to help when it comes to styling your topper or washing your topper, or as I said earlier, just trying to figure out like what color to get or what topper to get. You know, we want to make sure that you are happy with the decision that you make, and being informed is like the biggest part of that. So ask all the questions because that's really why we're here. Okay, I think that we are. Does it come in a side part? That's okay. No worries. All of these can be parted on the side. So you can just move the part. It's human hair. So just like with your own hair, if you wanted to move your part, you would wet your hair down and then part it, maybe blow dry it in the direction that you want it to go. And that's it. So yeah, you can definitely move the parts around. Okay. I think we're all done. I'm glad we've got like the white hair topper now. I hope all the questions were answered. I just, again, want to thank you for being here. It's so nerve-wracking to be on camera, and you are so lovely and so helpful with one another. And yeah, so that's it. I hope to see you again in a future live. Check Uniwig's websites because they have lives on their toppers and their wigs all the time with lots of amazing women who have so much experience and can teach us so much about wearing alternative hair. And always reach out to the Uniwigs team as well if you have any questions, because they are true professionals. They are so focused on customer satisfaction that you really can reach out to them anytime. They're just so amazing. So thank you for being here. We'll see you in the next live, and I hope you have a really good day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are right now.